What's up YouTube? Today we're going to do a comparison between the GSTB100 and the GSTB300 G-Shock generations. Let's check it out. Let's go! What's up YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do a comparison between the GSTB100 on the right and the GSTB300 on the left. You're probably doing some research or you're interested in this particular model which brought you to this particular video. So I'll make this pretty easy for you and compare the two, maybe three different watches that are available or the GSTB G-Shock line. The GSTB100 was the original of the GSTB series here, and then the GSTB300 was released back in January of 2021. There is a GSTB200 series watch, which is a little different between all three of them. It is more comparable to the GSTB300 in size because the GSTB100 is a little bit larger in frame between the dial and the bezel compared to that of the GSTB300. Now this one, I did do a comparison between the 100 and the 200 series. You could do a search through my videos and you'll find that particular video there. But this one here is between the 100 and the 300 series GSTBs. Now you'll see right away there's a drastic difference between these two watches, but there's subtle differences as well. Now in terms of the watch itself, there's a different modules, and you'll find that the GSTB100 on the right is an analog, complete analog watch, while the 300 series has a digital and analog display available. All right, this one here on the left here, the 300, does have the capability of displaying digital time and analog time, as well as changing between time and date functions on the screen. There you can see I can alternate between the time, digital time, and also the date window on the 300 series. On the 100 on the right here, all you have is the analog time with a date window reference on the bottom here, where it's very small and a little bit difficult to read between the 4 and the 5 o'clock hour marker. All right, the mode window on both of these watches here. On the 6 o'clock position, you have the mode window that's available to view. Right there, you have the world time, stopwatch, timer, and alarm. On the 100 series, you have it on the top there, closer to the 12 o'clock position, stopwatch, timer, alarm. That's your mode window. You also have the day of the week visible there on the right. Not as easy to read, I would say, than that window there, which shows you a very clear digital display readout of the day of the week. Now, another addition to the 300 series that the 100 does not have, it's the battery indicator here in the left corner of the 6 o'clock window. You have the full and empty for solar power. This was a little confusing. It's always been confusing to me. On the 9 o'clock position, this window here, this actual turbine, what G-Shock calls it, rotates around, and depending on how that rotary lands, open or closed, that indicates the actual, right there, you see that? The turbine turns. Once it stops, depending on where it lands and how open it is, indicates how low or high the battery is. It still confuses me to this day. I'd rather take a meter that shows you E or full, much more easier to actually interpret than having to figure out what that actually means with that turbine wheel. All right, you have the AM PM window there, very small next to the G-Shock logo. This one, of course, you don't need it. It's right there in the digital display. All right. This one does come in a few different models, as well as the 100 series. The one on the right, the 100 series, comes in a carbon fiber band as well, or bezel, as well as the 300 series, which comes in a few different colorways. I think it's 3. The standard one with the mineral glass. Then you have a different version that was released in Japan that does have an offer sapphire glass. This one is only available in mineral glass. You'll see that the watch itself has 5 buttons on the 100 series. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 300 series, you actually have 6 buttons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 buttons. Adjust. This is mode. This is connect. Reset. This is light button. connect button, and this is your crown. And then you have start, and then you have find, which is for finding your watch or finding your phone when you lose the phone when it's connected to the Bluetooth. All right, another difference between the watches is that the 300 series doesn't have any screws to release the band, while the 100 series does. You can see that there. All right. Well, 300 series actually has quick releases on the back of the watch, will make it a lot more easy to release the bands by activating that mechanism on the back of the watch there. A little more complicated with the 100 on the right there. You actually have to release these screws there, which are hex screws. You got to release both of them on each side to get access to the pin and release the bands. All right, in terms of the bands itself, they're both resin bands, but this one has a square shape versus this got a dotted shape on the bands, on the resin bands. I'm indifferent with these. They're both kind of similar. I find that this one on the right, the 100 series, does feel a little bit more rough. Makes it a little bit easier to grip compared to that of the 300 series, which is actually, all right. I'll put the dimensions on the screen of the 300 right there. That's the dimensions of the 300. And I'll add the dimensions of the 100 right there, including the weight. All right. I'm indifferent again with the light button being on the front of the face of the watch right there versus the light button being on the top right corner there of the 100 series. All right. Any questions, guys? Please feel free to leave a comment below between the two different watches. Price-wise, the GSTB100 was released with a US price of $320, while the 300 series was retailed at $380. All right, I am selling both of these watches. The 300 series, since it's fairly brand new, released in 2021, I'm selling this one for $160. Compare that to the $380 price tag. And this one's $220 for the 100 series. Which is originally $320. The 100 series is becoming a little bit more hard to find, and the price does reflect the demand and the fact that it's older model and it's harder to find in good condition. The 300 series is a newer watch, but I can anticipate this watch to grow in value, not more than retail, not anytime soon, if ever. So the 160 price tag, I can see it inflating over time as the watch becomes a little bit more scarce over time, a little bit harder to find over time. All right, guys, hopefully that was informational, a little bit helpful, and quick overview of the differences between the two watches. And till next time, this is Chicago. Holla at your boy. I'm out of here. Peace. Peace.
My G-Shock, I'm rocking 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 my G-Shock.